I don't feel like the struggles are that different from just parents in general who've got kids at home. And, especially, I guess, if there's kids with special needs and need extra attention, that's just hard anyway. So I think mostly for us is that the kids are really bored. So our kids have got quite a big age gap between them, so 5 and 10. And so they don't play together all day, and they do play a little bit, but otherwise they get bored. They've got different schoolwork to try and do. It's really long days for them to entertain themselves while we're trying to work from home as well, trying to get them to do their schoolwork, stay in touch with teachers. So it's tiring for them. It's tiring for us because they get bored. And then they stay up late because they're not tired because they've just been kind of not doing very much all day. And they've also made a huge mess because they've been playing all day long, more or less unsupervised. Obviously we're just in the next room, so they're safe, but they're just taking all the mess out, all the toys out. And you go, oh, at least they're just playing happily. But by the end of the day, it's like bombs hit it every single day.
Firstly, it's like, hi kids, good morning kids. Do you just want to go and do some painting? No. Do you just want to do some drawing today? No. Do you want your iPads? Yay! Go. That's my struggles.
With the special needs, with the autism, it really knocked around the routine to start with. Yeah, the structure. Because it was such a snap lockdown for us as well, it just sort of went. I think we only got, how much notice?
I think not even 24 hours, wasn't it?
No, it was only a few hours or something like that we went in. Routine, in saying that the schools were really good. They had booklets sort of up and out, ready to go. And with our daughter's learning, she wanted to get into it, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people, we've been exploring our local area a lot more, and we're lucky we're in a really beautiful local area. But we've always said we're going to go do a bushwalk one day, and every few months we might do some half-hour bushwalk. But we've done a couple of longer ones just because we have the time for it. We're not running around to swimming lessons and dance classes and all those sorts of things. And we've gone to the skate park for the first time, and the skateboard that's been under the bed for 2 years has come out, and I think it's been nice to be able to go out and do a lot more outdoors time together as a family. That's been really good.
The highlights of looking after 3 children in COVID. Well, my highlights are we're together all the time. I've got to know them really well, and I love when they're asleep. That's my highlight.
A couple of them learning to ride with no training wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big thing for them, wasn't it? That freedom to let's try something different, and we tried to structure it, didn't we? That they weren't focused so much on schoolwork, which didn't bring out the stress levels, the fighting, and we said let's just sit down at different intervals during the day. After that, you can go and play outside and have a break, then lunch, and come back and do schoolwork. But touch wood, this time it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
I don't think I've changed them on purpose. I think their routines have just changed naturally because they don't need to get up so early. So they get up a bit later than normal, and then they stay up later than normal. So that's meant almost, it's not that it's changing their routine, it's trying to keep them in a routine is the hardest part. So trying to be more strict with getting ready for bed and not kind of staying up late. And I mean, by staying up late, I don't mean like, I'm not like have to be in bed at 6:30 type strict. I mean, like, it gets to 10 o'clock at night. It's like, why are you still up? This is not good for you. So it's just trying to find ways of helping them to wind down.
What have I changed? Oh my God, absolutely nothing. Because at the beginning of the first 4 weeks of COVID, I was Miss Croft and they were my students. The last 6 weeks of COVID, I've been fired and they've been suspended. So there is no more routine.
Yeah, we didn't sort of make it too structured, did we? Didn't say this time you've got to do school, this time you've got to do that. If they felt like doing their school books, they'd come in and do sort of 5 or 6 pages at a time. And if they wanted to go outside and play, we'd let them go. Didn't really want to put all that pressure on them to conform. And what it meant was they just did a bit of it at odd times, wasn't it? They might do a bit of schoolwork at 6 o'clock at night or something like that, or Saturdays, but then they'll be out in the middle of the day playing. So they still got it all done, just didn't stick to the rigid timelines.
The teachers actually spoke to the children as well to say, look, it's not, you don't have to do it at home like you do it at school. Just do it when you want to. And it wasn't enforced so much like last year, was it, that the booklets had to be done. You do them when you want to do it. And there was more activities in them this time, so they could do things, cut things out of them. And I think it was a bit more fun.
It's been a quite different approach for the two different kids. So one is in kindy and one's in year 5. And just for those who don't understand about maybe foster care, so my 10-year-old is a birth child, and my kindy one, she's our foster child. So we have quite a different approach with both of them because they're at different stages. For our year 5, for the first few weeks, she just fought, didn't want to do it, can't be bothered. It was a real struggle. And until she realised that this is really long term and that she was getting too bored, she finally settled into a routine. Once we understood about Google Classroom, she could see all the different things you had to do and could tick them off. And they were done. I think that helped her just get it set up in the mornings where she gets up, has breakfast, sits down at the table, works out what she's going to do that day. So it needs still a lot of, please sit down and do your work. She's not completely independently driven, but she's the one where her teachers are encouraging her to get all her work done. And we really are encouraging her, you have to do this. It's really important. Do your novel work, do your maths. These things are important. Quite a different approach for our foster child who's in kindy. We've always tried really hard to help her to learn, help her alphabet, help her to focus, help make learning fun. We've, in discussion with her teacher and her support teacher, we're just finding ways of not just doing incidental learning during the day, but also just focusing on one thing for a week. So we'll just focus on writing the letters 3 and 4, or just focus on understanding that the sound for W isn't D, it's W, and come up with some clever, fun ways to remember that.
Well, as I just said, the first 4 weeks, I was so good at it. Miss Croft, my students, they did their work. And now I'm fired, they're suspended, and we hardly ever do work.
Teachers, they have a program, it's called Class Dojo, where the students and the teachers can interact. And then there were Zoom meetings, wasn't there, between the teachers and the children at home? So we were just taking turns for who could get on Zoom. And but the teachers were wonderful, weren't they, trying to work around us. And
we both sort of took it in turns about whoever would do the homework, whoever the kids weren't fighting with or responding to the most at the time.
The other one did the homework.
The other one did the homework with them.
And we'd look at each other and say, see, I got her to do 5 pages, or he'd say it, and we'd have a giggle. But we're pretty good like that. With that routine, we know that one has to be stronger on the day if the child responds more to that parent at the time. And a couple of times we've had where our little one will go to Steve for that comfort because she's not sure why her routines have changed. And then she'll come and sit with me and do her homework, but then she'll go and sit on the lounge and that'll be their time. And just getting through that and knowing which parent at the time they got that comfort for. The other one did the homework.
How I keep active? We get on in the mornings, we turn Fortnite dance on, and we TikTok. Best way to stay active.
Oh, we have a veranda that goes all the way around. So they were chasing each other on the bikes when they could ride with no training wheels, and we were taking videos. And our little one had goggles on, swimming goggles on, and would fly around out the veranda. And it was just good to see, wasn't it? That pressure wasn't on them, so they went outside. And we've got young children that live next door that they know, so the interaction over the fence, and it just made everything easier. And swimming in the pool, feeding the baby animals, yeah, just, yeah, kept them busy.